Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out Real Talk Friday edition. Joining me as always, Christen Evans. How's your week been?
Good. Glad it's done. Just kind of one of those weeks and spring break next week. So looking forward to getting out of town for a minute.
Yeah,
Just wrapped episode number 2 of the AF podcast. I'm going to have Mayberry on. So really excited
great.
about the conversation we just had. Yeah. Just,
That goes live on Wednesday.
Yep, it'll go live on Wednesday. And then the following week, I will have Amy Scanlon from RSU on there.
All right, now we're talking like great momentum. Start off with three
Yeah.
bangers. That's great.
Super good feedback from the first episode too. So love to see it. Had a bunch of people message me and be like, "Hey, I want to be on," which I was like, "Great, less hunting for me."
It's a game, yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How was your week?
Filled with building lists, which was really cool. I'm getting to test out a couple of new tools that I'm playing around with, and I think next week I'm going to be ready to do this thing where that I've always been wanting to do but never taken the time to do, and like list building live, so where I'm going to come on 30 minutes and like talk about, hey, this is how I look at partner personas, and this is how I take that partner persona and I go and use all these different tools to go and build these lists, and this is the tools I use to go find the contact information. So I'm excited about that and trying to make that a weekly cadence if I can, where people just come on, give me a brand if they are bold enough or want to ask questions, and have it interactive. So we'll see how that goes.
I love that. Is this one of the content pieces that has been kind of sitting in your brain that you now finally have time to execute on?
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Cool.
This is a long time coming, and I've been wanting to do it. And it ties into my new offering of I build lists for brands uh, and create the strategy, and just doing that legwork that not a lot of affiliate managers like to do or have time to do. They just want like this nice, pretty list. That's what I can build for them so that they can go out and do the outreach.
I mean, list building is definitely a big time suck. So
Such a
I
time suck.
bet it's going to be a huge a boon for you, I hope. I
Well,
think
thanks
that's something a lot of people can use.
for sure.
Yeah.
And any topics on the top of your mind here?
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of been thinking about, knowing when it's time to call it a day with a partnership, or, with a client or whatever. I think sometimes as a people pleaser myself, I will often go as far as I possibly can, and sometimes even farther beyond the point where it's any more effective or efficient or working. And I know that that often leads to a lot of frustration, burnout, and just, it's not a great thing to do. And I'm kind of trying to recognize earlier when it's getting to the point of like, maybe this isn't it anymore, or maybe this just isn't the right fit. Like, yes, this works, but this relationship isn't working because not everybody is everybody's vibe, right?
Yep.
Not everybody works well together, not everybody communicates well together, not everybody has the same level of expectation and expectation management, and a lot of times those just don't fit well together cohesively. And there has to be a time when you kind of stop forcing it.
Mm.
And like, I've historically been one of those people that I'm like, no, I can hold on to it. I'm going to make it last as long as humanly possible. And that doesn't really serve me anymore. And especially when I have to think about, my team and the resources there, and kind of all the other pieces of like, wow, are we really spending this much energy on something that like, it's just not it anymore. So just kind of figuring out how to like very graciously and gracefully sever those kinds of ties, it's so that, it doesn't sever the relationship, it just severs kind of like the working relationship.
Yeah. Also, it's a process, a fine line to work of like, you still need income. Have I stayed on too long with this working relationship? I still need the income, but like once you get to a point, like you can start firing your clients because you've got uh, some some other revenue avenues coming in, um, now we can start trimming that thing. So, what are some of your deciding factors of like how you came up with this is the relationship I want to end first?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is, it comes down to communication and communication styles, you know, and if it's one of those that it's like, it always seems like the alignment is constantly misaligned. Um, that's one of them. And but it's also like it's very internal. It's like, is it somebody that like if I see a message come through, I'm like, oh, and like you have that kind of moment. It's like instead of being excited about it, which I should be, and I want to be excited about it, I'm getting frustrated before even like jumping into the communication. That probably means that I'm also not managing that relationship the best, or the relationship has just kind of gotten to a point where it's like it is no longer a positive one, and I really want to make sure that it's that we kind of fix it, or reach a resolution before it becomes a negative one. Because I think at the end of the day, like you can sever those kinds of business ties without ruining the relationship and ruining the opportunity to potentially work together in the future. It could be, right person, wrong time. It could be right brand, wrong time. There's so many different pieces to it. Sometimes it can have to do with like, is there scope creep? And that's something that, like, especially with a team, I have to be very aware of is like, are we allocating more resources than should be to this partner when we really need to be like spreading it out? But why is that? Is it because the demands are higher than they should be? And if the demands are higher, is that coming outside of the scope that we've been promised or that we have promised? And if that's possible, like, can we either increase budget or can we figure out a way to, realign communication? And oftentimes if communication doesn't realign, like, and, the patterns continue, then it kind of becomes inefficient for me to manage.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of coming to those various factors. A lot of times it's a gut feeling, and I'm a pretty big proponent of trusting your intuition. My intuition rarely ever lies, and even those are lies. So, it's just, you got to know when to cut it. But then also, like, how do you handle that gracefully so that it isn't bad blood? How so that you can still help them, which could come from like referring them to another affiliate manager, or it could be recommending some other resources. But at the end of the day, like if you're not happy, there's a chance that they're probably also not happy, but somebody has to say something first. And however you can do that gracefully is the best way to do it.
Okay. Is there an opportunity to ask for more money and say, "Hey, we're making this change in the company, and we're spending more time with you than we estimated originally. Uh, we've got two routes of options. Like we can end this amicably before the contract's over, or we could increase the budget to pay for the time that I'm spending on my team and paying my team. Which route would you want to go? Is that kind
Um,
of the question you would go with?
yeah, it's potentially. I would say it kind of depends on the historical relationship. I've certainly been in situations where we've been able to increase the budget, which makes more sense with the time allocation. But then there's other times where it's like, yeah, it's a money thing, but it's also a personality thing, or it might be a money thing, but it's also just like you just can't seem to get on the same page communications wise, despite trying multiple times, and like, again, not every relationship is meant to be forever. Sometimes you have somebody come in to get you started, to get you going, and then you bring in somebody else, who's maybe more of a personality vibe. And that's okay. It's all business at the end of the day. And I think that's where I've often struggled is that, I take my business very seriously. I take the relationships I build very, very seriously. And I very much never want anybody to think negatively about me. But at the end of the day, like these are business decisions. These aren't personal decisions. These are the decisions that we have to make in order to protect ourselves, protect our team, protect our happiness, and protect our work life balance. I think it's just as important to recognize when it's not a fit because of those things.
Right. Well, that's a good work in progress for you, and I hope the best comes of that. And um, I don't know what else to say. I think we beat that up.
Yeah. What else is happening? What'd you do on the podcast this week? You had a couple good ones, didn't you?
I mean, yeah, I've recorded so many in a row that it's hard to keep up with what was Thursday. I know this last Thursday was publisher recruitment with Mark Goko, who's uh director of publisher development over at AIM,
Mhm.
and he's got some really incredible ideals and forward thinking, and he's helping make AffyStash a better product. Since AIM's a client of ours and they're utilizing that, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from them, which I really appreciate. And he's super smart, and it's actually his model of working at AIM is kind of what I built out this list building concept for other agencies and for other brands. So really grateful to that. And then I keep up with 3 newsletters, basically, Impact, MarTech, and For Me to Coupon, and I'm always excited for Me to Coupon, especially because they have this portion of it where they have at the bottom the meme of the week, and mine got picked again. I didn't win any cash for this one, but I'm always excited to see when my work gets put up there. It's always
Love that.
always a fun one. Um, but I also like to keep up on the news, and one thing that caught my attention was Instagram's new ad format lets creators get paid for testimonials and comments. Have you heard this concept?
I haven't. That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't expect that from a positional standpoint, but I kind of want to quit everything I'm doing and go make comments on Instagram everywhere.
Maybe start with a couple and see how it goes before you quit everything.
Nope, all
No,
in, all or nothing.
the intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do some research and how to game this, and who knows how long it'll be. Like things like this that they test out could last a month, it could last years,
Yeah.
who knows, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really an interesting concept. Uh, you know,
I mean, it's
people,
like UGC, but like it's being paid by Instagram versus the brand.
yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
I'll share some more next week when I do some research. This really just caught my eye instantly, but um yeah, I mean the concept of using other people's content and
Mhm.
then jumping in with your own comments always appealing to me, but I don't spend enough time doing it and engaging with other people's content as
Yeah.
I do as making my own. But I mean, that could switch up. They have an incredible audience, and maybe they missed an opportunity for an affiliate sale. I can cash in on that.
For sure. That
Uh,
definitely sounds right up your alley.
and also, like the concept here is this might motivate influencers to get their shit together and make sure to put their affiliate links
Yeah.
and do it, and unless somebody else is going to come in and swoop on it.
Yep.
So uh I like it. I think it's gonna be forward moving for us, like, altogether.
Will you share that article with me? Because I'd love to
Yeah,
see it.
you got it. It was in TechCrunch. I'll try to put a link in this
Okay.
comment section here.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
awesome.
make you an influencer yet, bud.
I wanna be that, living that affiliate dream.
I know
Uh,
you do. I know you do. We're working on it.
Working on it. Yeah. More reviews to come and, products to review out there, so very excited about it, but
Cool.
alright. Have a great spring break. We won't be here Friday, right?
Nope, I'll
Yeah.
be in Disneyland.
All right, go get them,
I will. Have a
princess.
good break, bud.
All right, you too. Later,
Okay,
Evans.
bye.
All right, folks, take care.